What's up, everybody? My forecast for the eclipse is just about as non committal as can be. Yeah, you got sunshine and some clouds. We don't know. There's going to be a pretty good little bit of wind blowing the clouds around, too. So who knows? I'm trying to think of a spot that I can live stream from. If it is cloudy, that'll probably still be a trip, too, because everything's just going to go dark and you might have, through the clouds a little red ring of sun up there. I'm wondering if Ruckus will have any reaction to it. I was reading one article that was just sensationalizing everything and said the nocturnal creatures will wake up and begin to stir. And I was like, really? In that little 2-minute window of shadow? So watch out for bats, guys. The owls start hooting. Anyway, I was wondering where this Pons Brook Devil Comet would be located during the eclipse, and I thought you guys might like to know. Bam! Right there. Alright, you guys have a good one. Wear eye protection later. Nah, I got some more precise navigation for you guys because I don't know how visible it's going to be. If it starts erupting plasma gas as it gets closer to the sun, it could put on quite a show, but I think it's going to be pretty faint. I just realized that this was seen in 1812. That's the same time as Tecumseh's Comet and all of the New Madrid quakes and all that. I guess you can add that to the list of everything else out there right now. Could be a chunk that broke off of another comet. But to find this mother of dragons or devil comet, jeez. First find the planet Jupiter. That will look like a star to the left of the sun. Then look up and to the right a little bit. The comet will be between Jupiter and the sun, but closer to Jupiter. I'll show you a star map here in a second, but here's what you're going to be seeing on there. There's the sun overhead, roughly a little bit to my south, and that is facing east there. So coming up right here, that's the ecliptic. All the planets travel along the ecliptic. So this is the horizon facing east, and then this line is the ecliptic. And if you've ever done any star watching, you know that all the planets travel along the same line that's at a 23-degree angle to the horizon. So here's the moon. It'll be working its way up to the sun. And this is the same time of day as the actual eclipse. But there's the sun. There's Jupiter. Sorry, it wouldn't record the way I wanted to. But anyway, off to the left of the sun, there is Jupiter. Don't fall in the abyss. You can download a free sky map. It's pretty cool to play with. But basically, everybody in North America, the sun's going to be slightly south and almost directly overhead. So Jupiter will just be maybe a thumb width if you hold your hand out straight over to the left. And then the Mother of Dragons, Devil Comet, will be just to the right of that if you're not distracted by all the bats that are attacking you because they didn't get a good day's sleep and now they're cranky. Here's a little animation if anybody's wondering why Jupiter will be in the same place for everybody in North America. The sun is just past the spring equinox. So we'll all be looking up and just a little bit south, and the moon is actually traveling to our right. From this perspective, it's counterclockwise. I saw suspicious observers do a demo the other day moving the flashlight, which was representing a sun across a stationary pen. Let me just show you the video. And I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence. I know Ben is PhD TED Talk guy, but the way he showed it was the flashlight, the sun, when it's over to the left and then moves to the right, the shadow goes to the left. But what I was thinking was, from this perspective, basically the Earth and the sun, the flashlight, would be stationary. You wouldn't have the sun actually moving over to the right, we'd just be spinning around. But the moon is orbiting the Earth in a counterclockwise direction to our left. And the way I see it, from a relativity standpoint, the Earth and the sun would be stationary in this scenario, and the moon would be traveling to the left, which would cause a shadow going from west to east. The photo that I'm using is actually a mirror image of what the Earth would be. But the sun isn't what's moving. to us from our perspective. That would be stationary, the moon moving to the left, which would cause the shadow to go to the left. Anyway, I might be wrong about that, just the way I thought that this thing worked. Anyway, he had a way cooler path of the totality shadow than anything else I've seen. So since we're already talking about it, I'm going to steal this clip and repeat exactly what he said. If something major happens during this event and the power goes out across half the country or anything like that, they did it. Yes, that they. There are several eclipses a year, I think between 2 and 5. There's absolutely no reason that this should be causing any disruptions to cell service or communications. No solar flares, no EMPs, no nothing. So if anything happens, it was them. When they're breaking out names like Mother of Dragons and Devil Comets, they probably got some crazy cult stuff going on right about now. So they'll probably have some ritual magic going on somewhere, but that shouldn't affect us directly anyway. They'll probably be setting the cornerstone for a quantum AI computer in coagulated goat's blood or something, but who knows what these kids get up to these days. Now, the one that I do have a little bit of concern about is Apophis in 2029. The way this animation shows it, it almost looks like it's behind us, but it's going to make 2 passes, and one of them is going to be just ahead of us by like 4 minutes, is what they say. Here you see it coming in. Apophis is the yellow, and just right there, really close, and I believe it's right in front of Earth. So if it's breaking up into chunks at all and leaving a trail, then we're going right through it. Just like, the meteor showers that we see every year are because we're going through a debris field left behind by something, or the firmament's glitching or whatever. But they're not showing the whole animation. It crosses our path again right in front of us over here. And it's, I'm sure it'll get all kinds of hype. It's named after the ancient Egyptian Apophis, also known as Apep here. But his whole mission in life is to devour the sun and bring about eternal chaos. His movements are thought to cause earthquakes, and his battles with Set may be the origin of thunderstorms. But there's a lot of chaos and destruction associated with the ancient god Apophis. It's interesting that they're naming Comet that, but they basically do this with everything. But I've read a lot of accounts where people in the past were afraid that they were going to be caught up in the tail of a comet, that the Earth would be really messed up from that. The Last Druid is one example that I can think of. He said that they built all the dolmens for protection as fallout shelters because they were getting bombarded by the sky while all these electrical storms were happening. I know all the cool kids know that space is fake, and I'm not sure exactly what it is up there, but from what I've heard, stuff falls out of it. One account I read would, and you can tell when you're reading an intelligent person's essay. It was just a very well written book. But he was talking about the ancients and, Phaeton and all that, things falling out of the sky, and brought up the concern of the Earth completely getting knocked out of its orbit and just drifting off into space. I tend to think that the big world resets had something to do with celestial objects. And they would get hit by minor stuff all the time, medium stuff quite a bit, and they keep a hush on that. Maybe some of you guys saw this too back around 2016 or something. There was an obvious meteorite that took out this town over in Africa or something with all of these witnesses and everything. And then, like 3 days later, they changed it over to a military accident. And I just remember saying, why are they covering this up? I mean, I was just reading about the eyewitnesses that saw it fall the other day, and now you're telling me that it was a truck carrying something. I might be wrong, but I think comets and the like have played a big role in humanity's history. But enjoy the eclipse. The comet might be visible up next to Jupiter to the left of the sun. Static out.